All right, so if we make that x, and I'll go to a little bit smaller marker here. There we go. So if we know two sides of a right triangle, to find the third, we do the Pythagorean Theorem. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So 37 squared compared to a squared, or x squared plus 12 squared. 37 squared is what?
1369.
1369 equals x squared plus 144. So x squared equals 1360 minus 144, which is 1225. So if we take the square root of each side, x equals 35. Okay, Pythagorean theorem. All right, so here you square 28, you square 45, and you square 53, and you see if the little two add up to be the big one. So is 28 squared plus 45 squared equal 53 squared? And the answer is yes. Is 33 squared plus 56 squared equal to 64 squared? Answer is no. Is 36 squared plus 77 squared equal to 85 squared? The answer is yes. Okay? All right. You draw out a triangle. That's 30, 60, 90. You make the hypotenuse 15. What's half of 15? 7.5. So the short leg is 7.5. So then you multiply by square root of 3 to get the long leg. So this is 7.5 square root of 3. Select all that apply means there's going to be two answers. Okay? So it's 7.5 and 7.5 square root of 3. Okay? Ratio of the sine of A. Well, if this is a hypotenuse, this is the opposite, and this is the adjacent. Sine is what over what? Opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse is 195 over 197. What's the perimeter? Make one x, one y. You can do this by using sines and cosines, or you can use law of sines. I actually think it's easier using law of sines. Okay? So if we go, the sine of 29 over x equals the sine of 90 over 5. So then take 5 times the sine of 29 on your calculator, divided by the sine of 90. And x equals 2.4, right? Then for the y, it's a sine of 61 over y equals a sine of 90 over 5. If you cross multiply, y equals 4.4. 2.4 plus 4.4 is 6.8, plus another 5 is 11.8. So see how I snuck all those answers in? 2.4, 4.4, 6.8. So it's really easy to get this wrong. Okay? Because all the answers are there. But the actual answer is add up all three sides to get 11.8. I'm so mean. What's the measure of angle A to the nearest tenth? Well, you can't use law of sines for this. You have an opposite side and an adjacent side. Opposite and adjacent is what trig function? The tangent of angle A equals the opposite side over the adjacent side. So the tangent of angle A equals 22.9 over 14.1. So A equals the inverse tangent, because when you take the tangent to the other side, it becomes the inverse tangent of 22.9 over 14.1. And what do we get? 58.4. Is that what everybody got? Okay. We good with that? Okay. So when we have opposite angles, we use law of opposites is law of sines. Sine of 33 over 59.2 equals a sine of 73 over x. This times this divided by this. There we are. What do we get? No. You took the square root on that problem. It's actually 100 point something. Or 104 point something?
104
Point.
will be 103.94.
So 103.9. Because we want the value of x to the nearest tenth.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't take the square root. Okay? Because notice how this is 59 and it's opposite a 33-degree angle. So if this is 73, it's going to be bigger than the 59. So you just thought it was so big that you'd take the square root. But in this case, it doesn't happen that way. See ya, Chuck. Good luck tonight. Okay, for this one, this is law of sines. So again, opposites. The sine of 73 over 26.9 equals the sine of 15.5 over x. Okay? So it's this times this divided by this, right? So on this one, what we're doing is this is A. This first thing on the bottom is A. So that's 26.9. B is what you're taking the sine of, which is 15. Ooh. What did I do? Mr. Bierschbach wasn't paying attention. Let's try that again. The sine of 73 over 26.9 equals the sine of x over 15.5. There we go. Woo! Mr. Bierschbach was going down the wrong road. So you multiply that times that, so 15.5 times the sine of 73, and then you're dividing by 26.9. So 15.5 is A, 73 is B, 26.9 is C. See how that works? See where we get those numbers from. Okay, it'll be the exact same on the test. Okay, exact same setup. Perimeter. Perimeter problem must mean an x and y, right? So the sine of 40 over x equals the sine of 49 over 19.5. So 19.5 times the sine of 40 divided by the sine of 49. What does x equal?
16.6.
Okay. Then the sine of 49 over 19.5 equals the sine of what over y? Okay. This is 91 because there's 180 degrees in triangle. These add up to 89. What's left is 91. So it's 19.5 times sine of 91 divided by the sine of 49. So what does y equal? What? Exactly 40?
I got 25.8, yeah.
That sounds more like it. So if we add 25.8 plus 16.6, that is, and 19.5, that's a 9, carry the 1, 10, 18, carry the 1, 58.9? Is that what you got when you added all three of them up?
I got 61.9.
Where did I? Oh, yep. I didn't carry right. 61.9. Okay. All right. Now, if you have side angle side, there's no opposites, right? So if there's no opposites, then we have to use the law of cosines. So a squared equals, and it doesn't matter, oh, it does. So it equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. So a squared is equal to 30 squared plus 26 squared minus 2 times 30 times 26 cosine of 95. So a squared equals some big number, about over 1,000, I bet. Is it over 1,000?
2,252.
Ooh, that seems a little bit excessive. 2,200 and what?
52. I don't know, that's what I got.
I think that's too big. Take the square root of that. What do you get?
Yeah, 47.5. I got
48.3.
I got 41.4.
Okay. So let's first figure out what this is. I'm going to get out my handy dandy calculator so I can be figuring this out with you guys. So it's 30 squared plus 26 squared minus 2 times 30 times 26 cosine of 95. Boom, boom. 17, 11, 96. And then if we take the square root of that, second square root of the answer, we get 41.4. Okay, good now? Okay, this is also law of cosines. Okay, I would use one of these. So this is A, B, and C. So I'm looking for angle B, right? So B equals the inverse cosine of 62 squared minus 78 squared minus 44 squared divided by negative 2 times 78 times 44. If you do that, what are you going to get? 52.5. Kind of nice to have multiple choice on some of these, huh? Okay, angle of depression. From the ramp down, this angle here is the same as this angle here. 3 foot high, 20 foot away. Opposite adjacent is what trig function? So the tangent of this is angle is opposite over adjacent. So we move the tangent to the other side. So A equals the inverse tangent of the 3 over 20, which is a fairly small angle, like 8.5. Agree? Okay. Angle of elevation, flagpole. Somebody's looking at it, up. They have a super big head for the size of the body they have. Okay? They're looking at it. They're 20 feet away, and it's an angle of elevation of 50 degrees. What is this? Again, opposite and adjacent is tangent, right? So the tangent of 50 degrees is the opposite side x over the adjacent side of 20. How do we get x alone? Multiply by 20. 20 times tangent of 50. What's 20 times tangent of 50? 43.8? 23.8. Okay, but that's not our final answer. 23.8 is this part of it. There's another 5 feet under it, so it's 28.8 feet. So those of you who put 23.8 on your worksheet, okay, make sure you add the extra 5 feet for how tall that person's eyes are above the ground. Okay? All right. And then the area is one of the bottom 3 formulas. It's 1/2 13 times 15 times the sine of 95 degrees. So we're using that formula. If you do it in your calculator, what do you get? 97.1. Okay? That's what's on the test. I mean, all I don't even hardly change a word. All I do is change numbers. And maybe I ask, instead of angle B, I might ask for angle A or angle C. But besides that, it's straightforward. Okay? So I will hand out the test now. And then we will get started.